Hello and welcome to Explain the Charts. Today, May 18th, 2025, we are going to be taking a deep dive into Ethereum, ticker symbol ETHUSD. We'll be combining technical analysis with the latest news and events to see what might be next for Ethereum's price. Let's start by looking at the recent news and how it might impact the charts. Recent news indicates that Ethereum's price is around $2,472, a 5% drop in the last 24 hours. This continues a 4-day decline from a peak on May 13th. Ethereum faces resistance at the 200-day moving average. However, analysts predict a potential rally to $5,000 in 2025, driven by AI adoption, spot ETH ETF inflows, and the Pectra upgrade. Institutional interest is growing, with BTCS Incorporated planning to increase its Ethereum holdings significantly. The Ethereum Foundation is also working to improve network security. Now, let's look at the charts and see how this news correlates with the price action. Looking at the daily chart, we can see a clear downtrend forming over the last few days. The recent peak around $2,739 on May 13th confirms the news of a 4-day decline. It appears that it has been unable to pass the 200-day moving average based on the chart provided. Let's zoom into the last few weeks of candles to get a better idea of what's going on. On this closer look, we can see the support around the $2,470 mark. If this support breaks, we could see a further decline. However, positive news regarding scalability improvements and institutional adoption could reverse this trend. Let's switch to the 1-hour chart to examine this price action in more detail. The 1-hour chart confirms the downtrend, with multiple lower highs and lower lows. We can see more clearly intraday support and resistance levels on this chart. For example, we can see minor resistance at $2,500, $2,535, $2,550. We need to keep an eye on these levels for potential reversals or continuation patterns. Now let's go to the 15-minute chart. This will give us the most granular view of the current price action. On the 15-minute chart, we can see very short-term fluctuations. For traders, these short-term movements can offer opportunities for scalping or day trading. I would say, in the short term, watch for breakouts above resistance and look for retracements to support. This is a good opportunity to zoom in on the last 24 hours. It's important to note that the market dominance of Ethereum has been declining, with Solana gaining ground. Institutions also focusing on Bitcoin could create headwinds for Ethereum. However, Ethereum's gas fees are down significantly, which could spur more activity on the network, potentially bolstering demand. To recap, key price levels to watch are the $2,470 support and the 200-day moving average resistance, which at this time is $2,739. A break below $2,470 could lead to a test of lower levels, possibly down to $2,100 as some analysts suggest. On the upside, a sustained move above the 200-day moving average could open the door to $3,000 and potentially $5,000 if positive news catalysts persist. Overall, the market is currently bearish in the short term, but news about the Pectra upgrade being successful could cause a bull run in the short term. It's likely that if the price breaks down below the support of around $2,470, there will be an equally sized jump up if we hear news of ETH ETFs being accepted. That's all for today's analysis. Thanks for watching Explain the Charts.